Hey Google, on my phone.
Deploying sentry.
I'm out!
Deploying support weapon.
Bag's empty! Democracy needs me!
Deploying equipment package.
Oh, we're back.
I'm out!
Don't break your back.
granted! Not today! I'm out. Bot outpost!
Deploying support weapon.
You will never destroy our way of life! I'm out!
Sending down sentry.
I'm out!
Inserting replacements.
Ooh, alrighty.
Objective critical stratagem available.
I'm out.
Sending down support weapon.
I hear noises. What I heard?
Deploying support weapon.
That's not.
I'm out.
Mission at 10 minutes remaining.
Back empty.
Reinforcement budget running low.
Democracy has landed. Back empty.
Reinforcement budget depleted.
Ready to liberate.
Deploying sentry.
Tagging map.
enforcement funding approved.
The Helldivers battle for freedom. Let us decide where to enter the fray. Choose where to make your stand.
Recently, Guillermo surprisingly chose to kill his uncle Jorge. It isn't known what reason he gave for this, but it is heavily suspected that it was likely because his uncle both fired him and encouraged him to go back to the old high school where he had been tortured for 2 years. At around 9 a.m., Guillermo and Luis pulled up to Jorge's shop. Guillermo left the car alone to carry out his part of the pact. He entered into his uncle's shop where he was sitting next to his friend and looking at his phone. Guillermo shouted Jorge's name a few times, but his uncle was now talking on the phone. He pulled up his gun, aimed it towards him, and fired 3 times. Guillermo then ran from the shop and back to the car. Jorge was actually still alive and was taken to the hospital, but he passed away from his injuries before too long. Now it was time for Luis to carry out his portion of the pact. They drove off towards his neighbor's house. Luis exited the car and went up to the man's home. Finding the gate locked, he continually screamed the man's name, hoping that he would come outside. He never did, though. The guy was fast asleep and never even heard Luis screaming. Frustrated, Luis returned to the car. The two decided to carry out the remainder of their plan regardless. Then the two drove off towards the school. They pulled their car up to the front gates of their old school, the Professor Raoul Brazil State School in Susanna, ready to carry out their revenge. According to records, the school regularly had about 350 middle school students and nearly 700 high school students. The building would be fairly packed. For their attack, it's worth noting that both of the men were wearing clothing very similar to what was worn by the two killers in the movie Elephant, a movie intended to be a realistic take on a school shooting. Guillermo also wore a backwards baseball cap and a watch similar to...
No pude dormir, entonces aquí ando.
what Eric Harris would often wear. A CCTV camera placed at a local house across the street showed Guillermo stand up out of the car, appearing to be speaking to Louise while gathering his weaponry,
Alright, what the fuck's
seemingly
going on?
being left.
I'll do some reactions here, see what the fuck is going on. Okay. Yeah, I got Helldivers so it's on standby.
After a high school boy in Brazil was bullied in some truly bizarre...
Now it is a center
I'm
of
going
tyranny.
to... I'll make a new one. Where is this video?
Our Class A citizens clamor for aid.
Ways, he came to drop out of school. Unable to move on, he decided to recruit two of his friends to help him carry out his revenge. Revenge that would play out on a grand scale. While the country of Brazil is notorious for having a high murder rate and a problem with gun violence, school shootings are actually very rare despite that fact. However, due to a number of different factors, school shootings have been increasingly becoming more of a worldwide phenomenon. This case is one of the best examples of that to occur in recent years. By pure coincidence, it was barely even mentioned in the international news, and that's for
Reminder, all personnel must submit weekly urine sample by 0400.
Mi sobra mamita.
Our city must be reclaimed. Select an operation, Helldiver.
folks, don't break your back. I think I'll make a new little segment here on basically react to these silly videos. Not silly videos, but these sort of serious videos from a trainer and from a weapons trainer and a, what can I say, also someone who uses weapons very effectively. So let's call it that. Can't use them for the next like 6 months, at least to a year. But let's see what's going on with these. Let's
A
get their
multitude of
psychological profiles
operations,
out.
each one a chance for
I'll lower
freedom
the
to
volume
reap.
off on them a bit.
For a pretty interesting reason. Before we get into all that, though, let's start at the beginning.
Okay. Peaking at 6. Perfect. So Helldivers, I can adjust that volume over here. So that's what I'll do. Let me just make sure my microphone and everything's set up. I'm just going over here. That one's going. And that's what's capturing the audio. Okay. Let me NDI source. Lower NDI source a bit. There we go. Let me see something.
Guilherme Tauchi Monteiro was born on July 5th, 2001 in
Where
Brazil.
will you
To
strike,
be
Elvis?
specific, he was born in Mogi das Cruzes, a city close.
Alrighty, setting up. Never tried this before. You should see the video come up on the side. Unless you want me to switch. I can switch it around if I want to. Matter of telling me. And we'll get to start it. But okay. If I hear anything, I'll come over and oh shit. Start taking my meds now. My back pain meds. Yeah, I broke 9 vertebrae months ago, so go in the whole healing. I can at least walk a bit. Just for the muscles, so the muscles won't break my bones. For the nerve pain, because you get the tinglies on your, you get the tinglies all over your legs. Let me plug it. For the ulcers. I got ulcers because of the medication. A bit more for the pain. I hope to make the stomach better for the pain. Just going to take an hour after. All right. Take the medicines. So how's my microphone doing? I think I need to pump it up a bit. Because I'm speaking very my voice is very low lately because of my lungs, my chest is broken. So it's like, ooh, it hurts when I talk and when I breathe. But I hope I can at least get some stuff going. Okay. So we're gonna be playing a video about the Brazil high school massacre. I'm gonna try to see what's going on in their minds. Choice of weapons, and you see a lot of these idiots. They just don't really know how to use weapons. I'm glad because of that. They think 1 or 2 range trips is gonna make them experts or whatever. Not the fact. That's not how it works. But yeah, coming from right here, for example, over here next to me, I have my M110A1. It's an HK. Got the nice suppressors, got everything. I can probably turn on the lights so you can see it better. Nice little weapon that I use for longer engagements. And maybe during the series I'll take out different weapons that I use. That's for longer engagements. I want to clip on thermal
planet cries out for liberation.
thermal and NV clip-ons. That's the way I do it. And then I have a bunch of other ones. Sometimes I just flip out the sight to an actual thermal sight. Thermal scope. That's what I do. So I doubt these kids who do these stupid shit have any gear like this, but what I know, let's find out. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Alright, this is my dire trip. Let's get
After
started.
a high school boy in Brazil was bullied in some truly bizarre ways, he came to drop out of school. Unable to move on, he decided to recruit 2 of his friends to help him carry out his revenge. Revenge that would play out on a grand scale.
Turn down the volume more, okay. So
While the country of Brazil is notorious for having a high murder rate and a problem with gun violence, school shootings are actually very rare despite that fact. However, due to a number of different factors, school shootings have been increasingly becoming more of a worldwide phenomenon. This case is one of the best examples of that to occur in recent years. By pure coincidence, it was barely even mentioned in the international news, and that's for a pretty interesting reason. Before we get into all that though, let's start at the beginning. Guilherme Tauchi Monteiro was born on July 5th, 2001 in Brazil. To be specific, he was born in Mogi das Cruzes, a city close to Suzano. He had one older brother, who he had never lived with. He did live with his 2 younger sisters, though. They all lived together with their grandparents. This is because Guilherme and his sisters didn't really have the best parents around. Their father was basically missing in action, and their mother was a heavy drug user. As a result, they had never lived with them long. They came to see their grandparents as their actual parents. Given that his grandparents were getting up there in years, Guilherme helped out with taking care of his sisters and raising them himself. Guilherme was a big fan of different nu metal bands, taking an interest in Slipknot in particular. Of all of their songs, People Equals Shit came to be his favorite. However, there were some parts of the scene that he despised. Given his mother's appetite for drugs, Guilherme came to hate them himself, saying that anyone who abused drugs should be killed. Guilherme was a big horror fan, taking a large interest in creepypastas in particular. He followed a Brazilian YouTube channel called Ambuplay that had a selection.
couldn't we spread on? Couldn't we? I don't think it takes much of a stretch of an imagination to think.
Helldivers to Hellpods. Repeat. Helldivers to Hellpods.
These people need better parents. It's the parent. I like to say it's the parents' fault, not much the kids' fault. I don't know when all these tragedies happen. You know, the signs are there. It's just a matter of knowing them, to giving your kid a chance. I grew up with parents. Everyone has everyone's parents have their flaws. Doesn't make them bad. They're just parents. But yeah, the parents should pay more attention to their kids, not be drugs. And my dad's an alcoholic, but he was a functioning alcoholic. So I grew up fine. I grew up nice. I haven't worked in the last 3 months because I've been 2 months because I've been broke my back. But I've had a pretty successful career. Successful side gigs, like I said, instruction, and you know, is it the kid or is it the parents? Let's find out.
Videos based on creepypasta stories and characters. As well, he followed another channel called The Laughing Prophet that showcased much of the same. He kept a notebook of drawings of these characters. This was where he showcased some of.
All right, another interesting, and for here, I don't like city maps much. I mean, it gets the job done, but it's just going through the cities block by block.
Hellpod launch suspended.
Wrong button.
Helldivers to Hellpods. Repeat. Helldivers to Hellpods.
Yeah, I got a friend, another one of the people we play with. We're just here. So, anyways, getting here, I'm gonna set up my hell dive and tell you my train of thought. I like to be sneaky in here. And oh, hey, Travis, I'm actually had a little stream here. I'm listening to these school shooters from the perspective of a instructor while I play Helldivers.
Like the dude instructing how to survive.
I'm the guy who teaches. I'm the guy who teaches like cops and all of these other people, sometimes military, on tactics and stuff. So, but I've been out of the loop for like what 2-3 months now. Ever since I broke my freaking back.
Yep. Like rule 1, don't break your back.
Yeah.
It will allow you to get out much faster.
Yeah. Rule 1 of being an asset to society: don't break your back. It's. This try. He's a good guy, battle mage, so we call him. Based guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Is he playing? Let's see if I can see. I'm just on my phone at work. I got like an hour before work starts, but I'm at the office.
Oh, cool. You can probably see me fail miserably here in this mission. I'm going in solo.
Okay, it's level 5. That should be doable.
Yeah, right. I'm still gonna die though, miserably.
I mean, most Helldivers die. There's a kill count showing.
That is. I was doing my math, and my KDA is 40 some to 1 death.
Not bad.
Could be better though. And I get the lasers. It's like my oh shit button, throw a laser, and then my rockets to like take out shit. And especially in level 5, you get the bipedals, and then my guard dog for the trash that comes next to me. And here we
No
go.
pocket nuke.
No what?
No hellbomb.
I don't think I'm gonna need it in these runs yet. Once
See,
we
that's the thing. It's not about need. It's about being able to run in and blow up an area.
it's not about a need, it's about sending a message.
Exactly.
My last game, I was having to take out the air bases. That was fun. All right. So,
We shall fight in the streets. We shall fight on the
yeah,
sidewalks. We
motor,
shall fight in the air.
just in case. What you do all the way over there? Fucking rubble.
Dude, Cyberstan is a study in how to rubberize the floor and screw over every Helldiver possible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the programmers did. They just make it like every time you throw out a stratagem, it's just gonna bounce further away than you ever wanted it to.
Right in my face.
That dude got right behind me.
And I hear the big Chungus guys coming. Alright. Our objectives are... Oh, motherfuckers.
Dropping a pin.
You know what? I'll go pick this up when I'm going at it. All right, let me play the video. This is for the Brazilian.
His
School
favorites,
shooting.
Jeff the Killer and Slender Man. Many of the other drawings in his notebook were nearly direct copies of the pages found in a Slender Man game called Slender the
There's
Eight
a school shooting in
Pages.
Brazil?
On another
Yeah.
page, he drew Slender
Couple
Man
years ago.
himself. He drew other
Okay,
characters
that
as well,
was
usually wearing
recently. What the
hoods.
hell happened in
He also
Brazil?
took an interest in weapons, mainly handguns,
from what I
drawing
hear,
at least
these guys
one
were, like,
detailed
total
rendition of
losers.
one. On one page, he made a drawing of none other than Freddy Fazbear.
And you know,
Eventually, it came time for Guillermo to enter in.
all of these people write journals, write notes, and write everything. Kind of like, dude, do you want them to catch you?
Yes, they all want to send a message.
But what message? Like, no one cares
Oh.
about their message. they're usually a bunch of losers.
I mean, if they were smart, they probably would have made a bunch of different life decisions.
And
Like, shit. You know, like, sometimes it's like dudes have been bullied all their life. Then you hear a story like one dude who was bullied, banged his bully's mom. So it's like, alright, that man is a villain, but he's not a school shooter. He just chose a completely different path of living. He feeling, fuck it, I'm gonna make my own hentai.
my guard dog's taking care of everything. Oh well.
That's the beauty of the bullet guard dog.
Fucker, stop.
If it was the laser beam one, it'd find a way to get behind you and spear you through the back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I guess we're good here. I'm gonna upload the stratagem. And I've been trying to get more minerals. Oh, that thing uploads. I see a thingy over here. Oh, it does. It undoes it.
Yeah, you gotta stay up an X distance from the thing.
I'm coming. I'm coming. Don't put your pennies in a bunch escape pod. Dude, I hear the bots everywhere. They want to steal my pennies.
What are they, brick from One Piece? But they're robots. Shouldn't they be able to manufacture them themselves if they wanted them?
Yeah. Do they even have a use for pennies? Is my question.
Stainless steel briefs. They're all the rage.
Alright, got a big base incoming in the front. What is it? What is the big base?
Right. Of course, they need underwear and boxers. My dude, they need to protect the nuts and bolts.
The nuts and bolts. The nut and bolt. Oh, there, fucker.
Sending down support weapon.
Die. We just won this time?
For prosperity.
Dude, this is like Fallujah over here.
I'm honestly surprised I've never seen a mod to make the robots blasters sound like Star Wars blasters.
Right? What the heck got me?
Now, would like Disney just hop on that and steal the crap out of them? Probably, but that'd be a great mod.
Yeah.
Point me to the enemy.
How do I destroy this piece of shit? Okay. Party hell bomb to the back, I assume.
The boom is always a good option. It's like dwarves, dig a hole.
Dig a
In
hole.
this our
Dig,
case,
dig,
we're
dig,
making
dig.
a hole. with explosions.
We need Megumin in here. Stop shooting!
You want to make like a mod that makes the one of the you can make your guy look like a dwarf. Strap a hell bomb on him, have the emo be like diggy hole, set off hell bomb.
Oh, he wants to be friend.
Level.
Alright. Not gonna play the video.
High school. He began to take classes at the Professor Raul Brazil State School. Little did he know he was in for a bad
guy.
time. Immediately, he was bullied for wearing all black and for his, at the time, horrible acne. He was ridiculed by other students and even by the teachers from time to time. One of the worst things his bullies would do would be something truly traumatizing. You see, Guillerme's mother had come to act in some amateur adult videos. Once the bullies got wind of this, they would hold Guillerme down and force him to watch these videos while they laughed and beat
This
him.
game's just awesome for
Guillerme
being,
came to
like,
take more of an interest in the
unwittingly able
goth
to make the
subculture.
craziest clips real to see a robot or some crazy thing charging the thief dudes and the dude pulls out a rocket, shoots it, and goes back to business. He's like, someone fill out that form because I got to get laid. He's earned it.
What the fuck? No, I'm
The
so
robot just curb stomped you.
I suck right now. Nah, it was mostly, I don't know. I think it's
You're
the,
2 feet from landing on him. That would have been rough.
okay, there. Have fun
You're
with
saying,
that. What's up?
You were saying?
I forgot. Oh, what, how does one go? Shit, what the fuck was that? Oh, that. Where's the rest of my shit? Rest of my shit's gone.
I think that sea dude just got blasted. Oh my goodness.
Time for Hellbomb.
So you usually awake at like 7 a.m.?
Huh?
Are you usually up at 7?
No.
Nah. What patriotism called?
Yeah, patriotism called.
Hellbomb request approved and deploying now.
That thing just ran straight through the metal. That's supposed to be the platform.
Helldiver KIA deploying.
Oh, that's... Damn. They're able to shoot the hellbomb. Really? I didn't think they could shoot the hellbomb that close to itself. That's some bullshit.
Fire in the hole!
You learned from last time. Like, nope, not again.
Bag's empty!
Reinforcement budget running.
I'd say drop the laser on it.
I say I do drop a laser.
Ready to liberate!
They called for it.
And then the thing still says no.
Oh! This is suboptimal gameplay.
I was gonna say, when you're near any of the sea forces, you can call them to basically come help you out and run with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know, the same button, whatever you use to ping. If you hold it, it usually brings up a radio menu to give a command to follow you.
Yeah.
That's why people have gameplay of having like an army of Seaf troops behind them.
Deploying support weapon.
Oh, so it's extract already. Okay. Well, that's relatively easy. Let's take out a couple of bases, I guess.
Dropping a 10.
Before
Yeah,
that,
later, dude.
Tagging map.
later.
Check out that
What?
PoE2 video I sent.
Yeah.
Because it's basically like the meme of like, but wait, there's more for content.
Follow me.
'Cause it's like they added a new league for at the end of this month it starts. And then they revamped the entire in-game system, so like it's very easy to figure out how to do different in-game stuff, and it has like a quest line attached to it. That way you go through it to get to the pinnacle boss, and then afterward you can still rerun it to refight the pinnacle boss for different rewards and whatnot.
Ooh.
But it's not so much just up to chance where you're like, can I fight the pinnacle boss? Well, you didn't get the one drop. That's the key to getting. It's like, no, you just do the quest line by doing the activity, and doing the activity gets you like the other unlocks that you would have gotten prior.
Okay.
And they added 2 new ascendancies, which are like those subclasses after. So finally, the monk got its 3rd one. So it's like, okay, I'm definitely playing that. It basically shows the monk make a bunch of like shadow clones of himself that do one of the moves he sets on it.
Uh-huh.
So it was like the monk. The gameplay shows the monk just doing a bunch of like staff spins and just clearing out the area.
Hey,
Sure,
dude,
dressing in a manner
you
that-
know, we should probably have like a little like internet thingy where we like game and discuss stupid videos while we game.
So I was playing a game called Tomb Water, and I realized like there's no dialogue or storyline stuff that I have to worry about getting interrupted while I'm playing it. It's basically Dark Souls, but as a older school looking game. So it's like I could totally chat while doing this, and then just be like, have someone be like, "Oh, fuck, here we go!" Like, "Oh, fuck," while I'm running from my life. Because I basically yesterday I was playing it for a bit, then entered an area where I'm just like, okay, there's a quest line to be here, but maybe the NPC was telling the truth when they said you're probably not strong enough to be there. Because I started getting my ass whooped when I was into like the second part of the area.
I got my ass handed to me.
Reporting to the
Because I
front.
was getting chased by a statue that looked like the Grim Reaper. It's like, Death, is that you? Just straight coming for me? Because at first I was going through the game, I was like, okay, this isn't too bad. It's a bit of a challenge. But afterwards, it's just like, this is some crazy bullshit to be fighting. Walk into one spot and like a bunch of zombies rose up from the ground, and it's like, okay, they're not the hardest thing to kill, but there's like 20 of them, and I'm basically having to get smart and funnel them into a small area while just spamming magic. So like, the game has like 3 different subsets where it's just like strength build, dex build, magic build, and dexterity is basically gunslinger because it's an old cowboy. It's like Old West meets Eldritch Horror game. So
Oh.
you can have like focus on the gunslinging part, the melee part, or the magic. And I'm like, okay, I'll just focus mainly on the magic, and the gun and the melee weapon you start out with for that character basically just allows you to refill your ability to do magic. And the gun is just a decent gun. It's like, alright, when I'm out of ammo, I'm not out of options. Shoot them with a bullet. And you refill bullets by doing melee, so it all kind of builds into itself just fine, even if you're a magic character. So it's like, you spam magic, spam bullets, then do melee to refill bullets. And sadly, the melee weapon is like ass for doing damage, but it does decent at refilling your bar. But I did find like I just entered a new area and found a whip, so it's like okay, I could have a good distance melee weapon because the starter weapon's a dagger with like shortest range possible.
Oh.
With the whip works where it's like if you have your distancing perfect against the enemy and hit them with right where the whip ends in the for how the game does the visual, it does extra damage. So it's like I was doing a lot of damage against the boss in the area by hitting him with the whip because I accidentally ran out of my ability to do spells. So the game works. It doesn't have a mana bar that goes down. It has a kind of like status effect bar that goes up called Madness. And when you fill up the bar for Madness by doing magic, it basically it locks you from being able to do any other magic until you rest.
Oh.
You gotta like manage it by not filling up the bar and then doing stuff to cool it off by either waiting or using that starter weapon. But I fucked up and like overcharged myself, and I was like, okay, I guess I got my whip and my gun. Go through the boxes on his last third of health. Let's see if I can do it. The funniest part is when I did that boss at like the end of the night. That's after I ran away from the graveyard area after fighting in it for a while, so I was getting a lot of levels quickly from fighting over like stuff over my level. And all I did is from the start of the game. Since I started as a wizard character, he had like the glass cannon build, so all I did is dump into health. So now I have like double the starting health that you have if you started as the strength character who had the most. So it's like, all right, I'm no longer a glass cannon. Now I can start up. Like I got 200 health points, started with 80. Now I can just start stacking into the magic build because I don't really need to care about stamina so long as I manage how much I do dodges or attacks.
Huh.
The only complaint I have with the game is when you're using, I think there's a setting I can change for that, but when you're using the gun, you can aim in any direction to shoot. But when you're meleeing or using magic, it's basically just cardinal directions of up, down, left, right. There's no diagonal attacks. So I've missed a lot of magic attacks where I'm like, I can get them, and then like I does it to the left instead of like upper left. Fuck. Now I gotta wait till that cools off.
The hero what?
It'll be like I gotta wait till the ability cools off or something because I missed because the game forces melee and magic attacks to be in basically like up, down, left, or right, but no diagonal. But you can shoot your gun at a diagonal.
Okay.
I think there's a setting I can do to mess with it.
I'm gonna play the video.
That people would see as edgy. More concerningly, he came to take an even bigger interest in Nazism. However, it was an
Is it bad? Like, I like Nazi history. Is that the same thing as these idiots?
No. Being a history buff is different from enacting history or reenacting history without the actually trying to do shit.
Touche. Touche. And can you hear the video when I play it or no?
No, I just have a picture of freaking Hitler on my screen at work.
Oh, so you're not hearing my audio?
I hear you. I don't hear the audio beyond it.
Did
So
you
like
hear the game
gameplay
audio?
or- No, now that I think about it, nope.
Oh, you didn't hear the game audio?
Nope.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, because this is the thing here. Oh. Open up the what's it called? The stream on the side.
You on the side?
Yeah, let me get you. I'm gonna put it here in chat, and in this chat window here. You should see it there.
Mm,
Hey, you can probably become one of the hosts for this little show I want to make.
let's see. Okay.
I knew
think. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm hearing the past and the current.
Tristan, one certain event that would send him spiraling. During all of this bullying, Guillermo came to discover the story of the Columbine massacre on the internet during his freshman year. He was immediately enthralled with the case. In his mind, it was a heroic tale of two teenage boys who had been bullied and took their revenge out on the school in a way that nobody ever forgot.
What's up?
Not only that, but the two killers, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold,
So I'm
shared
hearing like
similar interests
the audio
as him,
from that,
albeit not
and
these
as
versions
the
of
audio
them.
catches up
The
to what
whole
I'm
thing
currently
really
saying.
spoke to Guillermo.
The audio from what?
From the, so I can hear the video, but I can also hear like what I said a few seconds ago. So it's hilarious.
Oh. Yeah, there's a bit of a time delay, a delay there, and I don't know. I need to figure out how we can do this so you can hear it over Discord and stuff. I'll figure that. I'll figure that out. I wonder if there's a Discord setting here where I can have it record audio output. Okay. Pause my stream. Huh.
He began to
you
fantasize
hear it?
about pulling off something similar himself.
Yeah, I was able to
It
hear
all
your
hit a
stream
boiling
numbers
point
going.
when Guillermo decided
What's up?
I was able to hear the video that you were playing. Yeah.
Oh, like right now, live?
No, a second ago. I think you said you paused it, so it was not
Like,
playing.
okay, it's in play 3, 2, 1.
to defend himself. He attacked the main
No.
student
I
who
can
had
hear
been picking on
Yeah.
him for
someone's
2
voice now.
years. After, he went to the school board
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, I can hear the video. No, it's hilarious because I'm hearing you say "What's up" like from 5 seconds ago and now, and it sounds the same.
Okay, I just need to. Why is this thing not? Ah,
Because obviously I'm like hearing the video, and the time delay causes it where if you go like "What's up," I'll hear the past "What's up" and then the current "What's up."
let me try something. Why did it say be right back? I'm not in be right back. There we go. Want audio to go out. You're doing good, my dude?
Yeah, we got a couple minutes before work starts.
What time are you gonna finish today?
It's always at 5:30. Then I get to enjoy the hour-long ride home. But at least the hour, like the drive home, I've gotten used to. Like, I don't need GPS or anything to get back anymore. I just use it getting here because it's usually dark and it's hard to see some of the road sign.
Alright, I'm gonna do this thing. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out later.
and told them about everything that had been happening. To
I
his
should
shock,
be
instead of helping
relatively
him
brief
out, the
since the store's
administration
on
defended
Saturday,
the
so
bull.
we can play games and chat on Discord. I
Yeah,
can show you the game I was playing while You see me get my ass jumped by clowns and goblins or whatever the hell.
My sister's gonna be here with the kid on Saturday, and I think we might go to dinner. But yeah, you can come on by, bring your Xbox or bring some games over so we can have some stuff here. Bring your Xbox so we can all three play Helldivers.
I might be doing chores on Saturday, like groceries and stuff to set up, since we'll be doing. Wife will be busy on Sunday.
Okay. Well, whenever you can. If you can't this weekend, next week.
Yep, next weekend should be free. Feels like every other weekend I'm making plans. There's like, okay, I have plans for this weekend, next weekend, then next weekend. So I get like a day free. It's like, what do I get to do? Chores.
You know what I can do to share? I was just a total idiot. You know how I can share this?
How?
There. I can play this thing here.
Guillerme had gotten in trouble for striking back
Does that
one
work?
time when the bully had gotten nothing for 2 years. After these 2
I
years in
think-
high
is
school,
your stream
Guillerme came
paused?
to
'Cause I
drop
can
out
hear
in
you, but there's
2018
no
due to
movement
both
on your
this and the
camera.
severe bullying and harassment in general. Now
you
Guillerme
should
was left
see-
with nothing to do but look
There's
for any
another
job
stream
that
that I
he could
have
get.
right there.
Luckily, he
on my
learned that a
webcam.
friend that he had known for years might have a way to help him out in that endeavor.
Can you see that one?
Yep, the car's moving. Okay, yeah, I see that.
All right. Yeah.
Guillerme's friend was a
Something
man
like
named
maybe
Luis
you can go through all these
Enrique,
videos and
born
see
in
what
1993,
they
making
do.
him about 8
What-
years older
you
than
know,
him.
our
Still,
opinion
despite
on
the
it.
age gap, the two
Ugh.
had always been very close.
And then
Luis worked
also
with his dad,
your
which was
dad
his main
being a
source of
cop for like
income.
ever, he can
He
hardly help us
convinced his
out.
father to give Guillerme a job as well, who promised to get him a job
Meanwhile-
doing the same thing that Luis
What's
was
up?
doing, square
My dad would
cleaning
be
and
like,
conservation
I
in
didn't
Sao
expect
Paulo.
to be doing this on my
Unlike
weekend, but why not?
Guillerme, Luis had come from a pretty nice family.
But
with
I'll let him shoot the
parents, a
full autos.
grandfather, and a brother who were all very kind to him. Like Guillerme, he had also attended the Professor Raul Brazil State School and didn't have a very good opinion of it. He actually transferred to a different school after only 1 year. While it doesn't seem that he was actually bullied, he did have a hard time getting along with his teachers. This wasn't really anything new though, as Luis had never been the best student. In fact, he had failed 8th grade.
Is bullying, do you think, the major driving factor? And what can we do for bullying? Like with me, bullying, it made me a stronger person.
I think to some extent it's better to just make sure to teach kids that it's okay to fight back. So much of the time, people are hindered by like, when I defend myself, the school comes and tells me to go fuck off, and I get in trouble. And like, that's not a good way to teach kids to deal with bullying, because it basically just makes them afraid of the bully and the system
Yeah,
behind
yeah.
the bully.
No, you're right. You're right. You're very right. Like when I had it with my bully, I threw a gallon of orange juice on him. I mean, I was in 5th grade. So take that as you may. But yeah, the teachers got pissed off at me. It was a road thing. But you know what? He never talked to me. He never talked to me bad again. He never made fun of me. He never did anything. And to this day, we're good friends. Oddly enough. Not as good as you,
Well,
but like they're
We did the
friends.
anime moment of, you just gotta sometimes fight a dude, and that way you make friends.
It doesn't make sense, right?
It does make sense. People want to trust in someone that actually has a spine. It's just probably not the healthiest way of making
No.
friends. I wouldn't recommend it as a casual strategy.
Casual strategy.
How to make friends. Punch a dude in the face. What is this, prison? It can work like it. In school, prison rules.
Yes.
Fight the biggest dude and make him your best friend.
So I think like that's something that I don't know. We're brainstorming ideas during this stream.
It's like, I definitely understand that not everyone who gets bullied is going to come back stronger from that, because everyone's personality and the way they process stuff is different. But it is better to at least make it where people can defend themselves without feeling like their own structures are just going to tell them to get fucked.
Like with me, what really, since I'm a Catholic school kid, right? So yeah, I say whatever, rich Catholic kids, right? Whatever.
Well, most people talk about just the Catholic girls, not the rest of nobody gives a fuck about the rest.
So when they were picking at me, that the principal and everyone in admin knew about it, but my mom would be like, "What can you do about it?" They're like, "Nothing. He's the one who has to fix it." And when I did, I got sent to the office, and the principal said, "Good job. Don't do it again. You had to. Good job." And the coach and everyone said the same things. Like, "You did what you have to do. Good job. Don't do it again." And that was the end of it.
See, so that's at least relatively healthier than most schools where they're just like, you getting bullied? We're not going to do anything. And if you do something, suspension. And then they're not going to tell you a good job. They're just going to be like, I can't believe you did this. It's like, bro, you got me getting my ass whooped. Where's the video?
Helldivers
No,
to
it's-
Hell
it's-
Pods. Repeat. Helldivers
Sadly,
to Hell Pods.
even what you experienced isn't optimal, but it was still better than most people experience where they're just basically told, like, you did something wrong. I did something wrong by defending myself? Yes.
Out you go to the gulag.
It's like, well, what? How come the bully wasn't dealt with before when he was whooping my ass? Like, well, we're not strong enough to do that. I'm strong enough to bother me about it.
Exactly. You're strong enough to bitch about it. You can. Oh,
It's like the Simpsons had a good one where it was like the police, Marge's asking for help from the police because of that snake dude. That's always like the main villain in the show.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, oh no, it's like, I thought you said you were powerless. Like, powerless to help you, not to stop you. It's like, come on. That's how teachers, but there's no me.
That's actually very powerful, actually.
Yep. That's what my dad told me. He's like, hey, if you need to defend yourself. I'm not going to bother you as long as you weren't the one that was being the cause of the problem.
Yeah, like with me when I was growing up, my parents didn't care if I beat up the bullies. They said just don't be the bully, because if they beat your ass up because you were being the bully, you're gonna get another ass spanking back home. And I was like, no, I'm good.
It was like one dude tried to bully me in middle or high school.
Mine was
Might
in
have
middle.
been started in middle or something. I'll just say high school because I think that was about right. And it was like, I remember one time the dude tried to block it. This is like everyone's leaving class. And the dude just tries to block the door and bother me while people are still trying to leave class. I was like, hey, I'm trying to leave. He's like, I don't remember what he said. We just stayed in the door acting like an asshole. So I just punched him in the gut, pushed him aside, and then left. And then someone brought up, he was like, did you punch that guy in the gut? I was like, yeah, I guess. He was fucking around. I need to get the glass. And they're looking at me like I'm a madman. It's like, no, the guy's always causing problems. I'm not dealing with that shit.
See?
Like, I still remember, I think the same dude or slightly different dude tried, like, copying my homework and being, like, if he had asked for help or some stuff, I could be reasonable. He was being an ass about it. Straight up grabbed his paper off of his desk, ripped it, threw it in the trash, and put my shit in my backpack so he couldn't keep copying off of it. And he just looked at me, it's like, brother, why? And it's like, my God, you acting like a whole asshole. Didn't ask for help, didn't say nothing. It's just like, that solved more problems than asking the teacher. I asked the teacher for help understanding class, not for fucking surviving class.
These little, like, we had spines back in our days. I don't know.
Well, the problem is that we were allowed to. These days it feels like you're stepped on as a kid if you try to, which is the wrong path to take.
Yeah.
Because then all you do is get a kid who's bottling all that shit up like a dumbass.
And then all of these shits you see here happen. I'm gonna grab a soda real quick.
Like, that's not even accounting for any shit at home.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Got the retarded soda.
What's the retarded soda?
It's like, so it's it had an accident. It couldn't hold its bowels.
Oh, where it looks like the one that got lopsided. I messed up on transit.
Yeah. There's a tiny little Pepsis.
Yeah, like even all the stuff we're talking about that happens at school, that's not even accounting for a kid's home life. A kid could have a perfect school life, have a horrific home life, or a good home life and a terrible school life. But either one builds pressure, and if all you're doing is teaching that kid to bottle that shit up and like basically accept that the system's gonna fuck them over, guess what's gonna happen? Nothing good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I was listening to some last night, and they're always like, "Oh, you know, it's over. I can't do anything and stuff like this." And I think one of them had a major in what was it? It was one of those stupid majors. It's like, and they were saying like, "Oh, I have a major, but I can't find any job and everything, and the best I can do is like wash plates with my degree and blah blah blah." And the guy hammered and tried to get what degree was it? You know, shouldn't you have gone a better degree, like engineering, medicine, or something like that? It's like, yeah, but I don't like those. And so you gave up the opportunity to make money, to study, and waste money on something that will not get you anything.
Mission preparation aborted.
Yeah.
Even with that, the dude could have chosen. There's other career paths he could have taken that's outside of the STEM sector.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at me. I didn't graduate college. I was a semester away. I did capstone. I did everything. But I was one semester, I'm like, I have to be flying to Germany. I have to be flying to Mexico, to Brazil, and all these different things. Like, now, I need time out. And I haven't gone back since. You know, it's not the degree that makes the person. It's your work ethic, I guess. Because you're a very hard worker. I've seen you work. You're like yeah. I don't know. And in your opinion, how much time do you got?
I'll probably be able to answer this question, then gotta go.
Go. We will refine this little podcast thingy later.
Okay. Hey, message me if you want.
Sounds good. I'll be here. I'll probably be here for a while. I have an appointment with the attorney at 10, and then they're gonna try to kidnap me to take me to the range. You're more than welcome to join the kidnapping squad.
Sadly, I cannot today.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay.
Send me a video because it'll be hilarious. Having be in Malakal was when they take you over to the range to just salute.
Oh, I need to send you a funny picture they made.
The city was once a center of commerce.
Yeah,
Now it is a
give that
center
video I
of
sent you a
tyranny.
watch. You'll have a laugh at just the stupid amount of content that they're releasing.
Which one? Oh, the strongest age, with the weakest death.
No, it should be like a YouTube video that I sent you on.
The Path of Exile one.
Yep.
Yeah, I got it here. It's on my YouTube.
Nice.
I watch in one of the little lulls.
Yeah, next time we hang out, we'll watch the Goblin Slayer Bridge, the last couple episodes I had for that.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, well, you can probably do it. Where do you want to come over?
Next weekend, next Saturday or Sunday, I should be free for both. I can double check if I have any plans. Because I know Sunday I'm hanging out. My wife's gonna hang out with friends in town, and I'm gonna hang out with another friend to see how he's doing.
Okay.
And Saturday, I'm pretty sure it's just chores because HEB and got to get stuff ready for
Oh yeah.
the next week because we'll be out on Sunday.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, dude, take care of the shit you have to take care of, and I'll be here. We should do little Little funny, like think of a little topic, and we can discuss it. With a little video in the back.
Sounds good.
Break it down. Hey, it might hit someday.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Talk to you later.
Wait a minute.
Later.
Our city must be reclaimed.
Alrighty. What am I doing? Oh, that's streaming that. Okay, so we do. V is good. Alright, but that one's the. I need that one. This is the stream. I think that's my camera. We're good. We're golden. All right. Like this, I'm right now. I'm on the Discord, and this is one of the semi-private channels. So if anyone jumps in, you know what? I wonder if I can make a new channel. Let me jump on that. I will be back and we'll finish the video. We're back. I should have put my pause. Anyway, I asked them to make me a streaming channel. I'm still here.
Choose where
I
to
guess we
make
can-
your stand.
Turn off Helldivers. Yeah.
Helldivers across the galaxy are fighting for every inch of territory. Where will you go?
Alright, everything is set up. Let's hit it.
Grade 3 times before even attending high school. Still though, Luis was a fairly normal guy in comparison to Guillerme. He liked soccer, riding his bike around town, 80s metal music, and video games. One of his favorites was Call of Duty. While he mainly stayed indoors, one of his favorite things to do when he was out was hit up some local internet cafes and play some games with Guillerme. Ever since the two had met as kids, they were usually together. They would often hang out at a local mall or visit a neighbor's house to have some LAN parties and play games together. They would often hit up a local arcade as well. While at the internet cafe, they wouldn't talk to other people, only communicating with each other. It was noticed by an employee of the cafe that they would often take turns wearing the same swastika pendant around their necks. Unlike Guillerme, Luis never seemed to show his anger too often. Or, to be more accurate, when he did, he wasn't aggressive. There were times when his hidden anger would present
You're
itself.
awake?
He wasn't a very good sport
Yeah,
and
what's
did tend
up?
to get pretty irate whenever he lost a game.
Did you not sleep, or what happened?
Ah, I fell asleep like at 9, 10. Woke up at like 3-ish. And
Jesus.
couldn't go back to sleep because my pain was hurting, everything was hurting. And no, because I carried the fridge upstairs.
What
And
fridge?
it a little fridge that mom got so I can have it upstairs and have the little licuaditos and stuff. So in the mornings I don't have to go downstairs because it's a bit pain in the ass to go downstairs with my back. So she got that little fridge with with all the juices and stuff. And I carried it upstairs and oh god, I thought it was light, but I felt it. The second I laid down on the bed, it was just knocking me. It was just like, it was just bad. And so I woke up like at 3. I'm like, I'm trying to fall asleep, but I can't fall asleep because everything's hurting. And then anyways, I just set up the fridge and then I'm down here, but I can't go back. I wanted to go back to sleep. I don't trust my body to go back to sleep when I have a 10 o'clock appointment with the lawyers.
So you'll like take a nap after?
So after I'll take a nap. I just need to survive.
An hour and a half more.
Yeah. When do you start work?
I already started, but I saw you were on. I was like, what the fuck?
I was telling Oscar to make me another channel for streaming. And so you guys can jump in or whatever. Because like this little thing right now I'm testing out for YouTube. It's like I go into these videos of all of these criminals, these shooters and stuff like that. What caused it? What did everything? But get like an outside perspective kind of thing.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it'll hit off, but to me it just helps. Like okay, like a live react, but like a from like this one's like a live react, but it's like from someone from a weapons trainer and like from a weapons trainer and someone who trains individuals. Like where did they go wrong and why we thank God that these people don't train.
Yeah. No, I dig it. That works.
But yeah, but like I have like this is like this scene right there for like video and just like going off, or like when I'm playing a video game or whatever. I'm playing the video game and then the thing's here in the back and we're just here in the back and just talking about it while we're gaming or whatever, and then switch it over to the other one when it's like okay, so we need to talk about it a bit more.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, we'll see. There's a million podcasts out there, but maybe.
You never know. It's always worth a shot, though. So.
And that way, if it hits, I can work from home.
Exactly, and it's nice. And it's more stuff that you like.
And I like talking to the microphone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
I
just wanted to check how you were doing.
I'm doing really bad. And I wanted to bother you for something.
What's up?
You're gonna hate me with a bloody passion.
What's up?
The ROG Ally.
The Steam Deck version type thing?
Yeah, but the ROG one.
Okay.
Which one's better, the Steam Deck or the ROG?
I have zero idea. Oscar may have a good idea, or Manuel too, because I believe they've at least interacted with those. So they'd be your best bet, because I haven't seen anything about like the handhelds and all that. You could ask them though, I'm sure they have like a good. I feel like the Steam Deck's pretty good, but I have no idea. You could ask Manuel and Oscar, they'd have very solid.
Okay, I was wondering if you can, what's it called? Get it for me early so that when I get money, I can pay you when I start working again after this. But it's no, I know you're saving money, so that's why I think it's a no, and I totally get it. So it's up to you. It's not urgent. I don't need it right now. It was just like something like, maybe you can spot me, like, for now while I heal up. It's not chiflazón. I will give you that. So that's why. Saying no is fine.
I don't know how much they are and stuff, but
they're like 560, 570. There's one in the Amazon.
I'll take a look.
Yeah, easy no? Ni modo.
I will.
It can wait till like the only reason I'm thinking about it because when I'm stuck in bed, I want a game, and I can't be laying down with the back all the way, so I have to be sideways. So that's when yeah.
And you've tried them already? You like playing on them?
Oh, I do like them.
Okay.
But the ROG is a little bit better with graphics, from what I understand. Like it plays a lot better. Like I don't have to be playing like on at 30 frames and everything low on
Okay.
the Steam Deck. But just
I
do-
will take a look.
do some research whenever you can. Choose one of those ROG Allies or Steam Deck or something, because that Steam Deck's not mine.
Okay. Okay. That sounds good. I
Yeah.
will take a look.
Thank
You
you.
you keep healing up me, dude, and let me know how it goes with the lawyers.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm itching to go shoot.
Okay. Yeah, let's see what the lawyers say today, and then let me know what they say, and then yeah, I'll look at the ROG and the Steam Deck and stuff.
Yeah, or maybe we're looking in the wrong place. Maybe there's another one.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll take a look.
Yeah. If you can just like get Manny, no, you said Oscar, and them in there to choose. Buy once, cry once. ¿Me entiendes?
Yeah. I got you.
Okay, dokie. Yeah, if you can do that, that would
Alright.
be amazing.
Yeah, I will take a look, and then
And then you send me your receipt, and I'll pay you back once I'm working.
okay, sounds good, me dude. I'm going to go back to work, and I'll take a look.
Yeah. I'll be here on this channel until Oscar makes me the other channel.
Or you could just use your isekai service as yours.
Is it? Yeah, that's fine. That's right. Moving over to that
Yeah.
one.
So, okay. Well, have fun, me dude.
Have fun. Bye bye.
Bye.
All right. All right. Okay. You know what? Let's just start the video from square one. We're using dire trip.
After a high school boy in Brazil was bullied in some truly bizarre
Dire
ways,
trip.
he came to drop out of school. Unable to move on, he decided to recruit two of his friends to help
Can you
him
hear me
carry
well?
out his
I'm
revenge.
spiking.
Revenge that would play out on a grand scale.
Testing. No, it's too much. Testing.
While the country of Brazil is notorious for having a high murder rate and a problem with gun violence, school shootings are actually very rare despite that fact. However, due to a number of different factors, school shootings have been increasingly becoming more of a worldwide phenomenon. This case is one of the best examples of that to occur in recent years. By pure coincidence, it was barely even mentioned in the international news, and that's for a pretty interesting reason. Before we get into all that though, let's start at the beginning. Guilherme Tauchi Monteiro was born on July 5, 2001 in Brazil. To be specific, he was born in Mogi das Cruzes, a city close to Suzano. He had one older brother who he had never lived with. He did live with his two younger sisters, though. They all lived together with their grandparents. This is because Guilherme and his sisters didn't really have the best parents around. Their father was basically missing in action, and their mother was a heavy drug user. As a result, they had never lived with them long. They came to see their grandparents as their actual parents. Given that his grandparents were getting up there in years, Guilherme helped out with taking care of his sisters and raising them himself. Guilherme was a big fan of different nu metal bands, taking an interest in Slipknot in particular. Of all of their songs, People Equals Shit
Oh,
came
I
to
like
be his
Slipknot.
favorite. However,
Okay.
there were some parts of the scene that he despised. Given his mother's appetite for drugs, Guilherme came to hate them himself, saying that anyone who abused drugs should be killed. Guilherme was a big horror fan, taking a large interest in creepypastas in particular. He followed a Brazilian YouTube channel called Ambuplay that had a selection of videos based on creepypasta stories and characters. As well, he followed another channel called The Laughing Prophet that showcased much of the same. He kept a notebook of drawings of these characters. This was where he showcased some of his favorites, Jeff the Killer and Slender Man. Many of the other drawings in his notebook were nearly direct copies of the pages found in a Slender Man game called Slender the 8 Pages. On another page, he drew Slender Man himself. He drew other characters as well, usually wearing hoods. He also took an interest in weapons, mainly handguns, drawing at least one detailed rendition of one. On one page, he made a drawing of none other than Freddy Fazbear. Eventually, it came time for Guilherme to enter into high school. He began to take classes at the Professor Raul Brazil State School. Little did he know he was in for a bad time. Immediately, he was bullied for wearing all black and for his, at the time, horrible acne. He was ridiculed by other students and even by the teachers from time to time. One of the worst things his bullies would do would be something truly traumatizing. You see, Guilherme's mother had come to act in some amateur adult videos. Once the bullies got wind of this, they would hold Guilherme down and force him to watch these videos while they laughed and beat him. Guilherme came to take more of an interest in the goth subculture, dressing in a manner that people would see as edgy. More concerningly, he came to take an even bigger interest in Nazism. However, it was an interest in one certain event that would send him spiraling. During all of this bullying, Guilherme came to discover the story of the Columbine massacre on the internet during his freshman year. He was immediately enthralled with the case. In his mind, it was a heroic tale of two teenage boys who had been bullied and took their revenge out on the school in a way that nobody ever forgot. Not only that, but the two killers, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, shared similar interests as him, albeit 90s versions of them. The whole thing really spoke to Guilherme. He began to fantasize about pulling off something similar himself. It all hit a boiling point when Guilherme decided to defend himself. He attacked the main student who had been picking on him for 2 years. After, he went to the school board and told them about everything that had been happening. To his shock, instead of helping him out, the administration defended the bully. Guilherme had gotten in trouble for striking back one time when the bully had gotten nothing for 2 years. After these 2 years in high school, Guilherme came to drop out in 2018 due to both this and the severe bullying and harassment in general. Now, Guilherme was left with nothing to do but look for any job that he could get. Luckily, he learned that a friend that he had known for years might have a way to help him out in that endeavor. Guilherme's friend was a man named Luis Henrique, born in 1993, making him about 8 years older than him. Still, despite the age gap, the two had always been very close. Luis worked with his dad, which was his main source of income. He convinced his father to give Guilherme a job as well, who promised to get him a job doing the same thing that Luis was doing, square cleaning and conservation in Sao Paulo. Unlike Guilherme, Luis had come from a pretty nice family with parents, a grandfather, and a brother who were all very kind to him. Like Guilherme, he had also attended the Professor Raul Brazil State School and didn't have a very good opinion of it. He actually transferred to a different school after only 1 year. While it doesn't seem that he was actually bullied, he did have a hard time getting along with his teachers. This wasn't really anything new though, as Luis had never been the best student. In fact, he had failed 8th grade 3 times before even attending high school. Still though, Luis was a fairly normal guy in comparison to Guilherme. He liked soccer, riding his bike around town, 80s metal music, and video games. One of his favorites was Call of Duty. While he mainly stayed indoors, one of his favorite things to do when he was out was hit up some local internet cafes and play some games with Guilherme. Ever since the two had met as kids, they were usually together. They would often hang out at a local mall or visit a neighbor's house to have some LAN parties and play games together. They would often hit up a local arcade as well. While at the internet cafe, they wouldn't talk to other people, only communicating with each other. It was noticed by an employee of the cafe that they would often take turns wearing the same swastika pendant around their necks. Unlike Guilherme, Luis never seemed to show his anger too often. Or, to be more accurate, when he did, he wasn't aggressive. There were times when his hidden anger would present itself. He wasn't a very good sport and did tend to get pretty irate whenever he lost a game. A switch would flip in his mind, changing him from a timid and soft-spoken man to one that was having a full-on temper tantrum blowout. Most of the time, though, he was shy and reserved to a fault. Some girls had even tried to date him, but he would actually chicken out and ghost their dates each and every time. His own father described him as being very weak-willed, often just going along with what other people wanted. Much like Guilherme, though, Luis had picked up some darker interests. He was a very big fan of Russia, coming to idolize their government quite a bit. He also came to find
That's
himself
no
very
fun.
interested in guns and weaponry. After he heard of a school shooting that took place in the Realengo School in Rio de Janeiro, Luis began to take a fascination with mass shootings as well. While Luis's father did get Guilherme a job, it wasn't for too long. While he was working though, his grandfather said that he earned about 1,400 Brazilian real per month, which is about 258 US dollars, and received the local equivalent of food stamps. He used this to help his grandpa out with grocery shopping expenses, given that his only income was the minimum retirement wage at the time. That job eventually came to an end, but Guilherme seemed to take it in stride. After all, he still had an uncle, 51-year-old Jorge Antonio Moraes, who could help lend him a hand. Jorge ended up getting Guilherme a job washing cars at his car rental shop. For reasons unknown though, Guilherme lost his job about 2 months later. Again though, he didn't seem all too bothered. However, this may have just been a front. In hindsight, many people have come to wonder if he began to hold a good amount of animosity towards his uncle over this. In December of 2018, something much worse than unemployment would come to take over Guilherme's life. This was when his grandmother passed away. It was after this that Guilherme slowly started to show signs of clinical depression. At the time, though, it was said that he never shed a single tear. A little concerned with his lack of reaction, his grandpa asked him if he wasn't suffering. Guilherme reassured him, telling him, "Grandpa, I felt it in my own way." A few days later, Guilherme once again approached his grandfather, asking him what they should do now that his grandmother was dead. His grandpa responded simply that it was now up to the two of them to raise the girls. With Grandma gone, Uncle Jorge began to worry about Guilherme's future. He approached him, saying that he would help care for him in addition to his grandfather. However, he crossed the line in Guilherme's mind when he encouraged him to go back to school, the very same Raul Brazil school from where he had dropped out. Guilherme was disgusted at the idea. Throughout this time, Guilherme didn't hang out with Luis any less and kept picking up various odd jobs to earn some money. Because of this, his grandfather didn't really find it odd that he kept buying things for himself, like video games or products from online stores. His last odd job would be as a vendor at a hot dog stand, where he earned a very low wage. Guilherme eventually came to stop hiding his inner rage. It was said that he would often vandalize different buildings and houses. In addition, he began to openly threaten other people and talk about how badly he wanted to kill someone. His grandpa had quite the opposite experience, saying that he was never anything but a good kid at home. He said that he never smoked, never drank, and only had minor arguments over trivial family matters. Complimenting him on his lack of drug use, his grandfather was a bit thrown back when Guilherme responded by saying that he wanted to catch drug users and burn them all to death. He also noticed that Guilherme was starting to spend a lot more time alone in his room. In addition to Luis, Guilherme actually had one more friend who shared his interest in mass violence. This was a boy about the same age as him named Guilherme Grillo. Given that they share the same first name, let's refer to him as Grillo from here on out. The two boys had actually joked and fantasized about committing an attack since middle school, although they hadn't been all too serious about it at the time. Now things had changed. Grillo, while holding a small interest in Columbine, didn't really express much interest in committing the exact same sort of attack. He wanted to go for shock value himself. He showed more of an interest in shocking the public, wanting to blow up City Hall before they even committed some sort of massacre. Grillo formulated his own plan. He decided that he, Guilherme, and Luis would arrive at the school in an area where couples would usually hang out. They would start fights with the girls' boyfriends, then pull out their weapons and force the couples into a classroom. There, very much aligning with his desire to shock the public, they would rape the female students and force the male students to engage in sexual acts with each other as some sort of humiliation ritual. Then, and only then, they would kill them. Afterward, Grillo wanted to remove their heads. Then the three shooters would end life on their own terms. Wild fantasies aside, Guilherme, Luis, and Grillo began to make more concrete plans for an attack. Guilherme came to take the position of the leader in the attack, while Luis more or less agreed with his plans and went along with them. Grillo mainly provided more unfeasible, wild ideas, while the other two would more or less ignore him. They had actually been bouncing ideas off of each other for what kind of attack they would commit for about a year by this point, but now it was time to come up with something more solid. Both Guillermo and Luiz were reported to have been fascinated with an image board called Dagolachan. This was a Brazilian website in very much the same vein as 4chan or 8chan, although it was arguably much more extreme. Rather than being available on the surface web, it was an actual site on the deep web that promoted hate and violence in a much more straightforward way, given the increased level of anonymity that comes with being on the deep web. The board was most known for encouraging acts of violence towards women and certain minorities. Given that Dagolachan users had already shown a large amount of support for the last big school shooting in Brazil, Guillermo and Luiz felt that it would be the perfect place to announce their attack and ask for some advice. A moderator who went by DPR was more than happy to teach them all they would need to know to carry out an attack. The two boys expressed a clear desire in committing an attack that would surpass the Columbine High School massacre in numbers. They wanted to take Columbine's spot as being the most frequent inspiration for other school shooters. In order to do that, they started saving some money. While Guillermo still had a bit of cash from his odd jobs, Luiz would use his more solid income to buy most of the supplies. The two would come to spend the equivalent of about $1,115 on gear and weaponry in preparation for what they were about to do. The three boys planned to use a certain car on the day of their planned massacre. This was a white Chevrolet Onix that Luiz had rented. However, they couldn't leave this car out in the open at one of their own places. Instead, they chose to keep it in a paid parking lot that was often used by Guillermo's uncle's rental company. They would always ask to park their car in the far back corner of the lot, most out of sight from the public and the security tower. The owner of the parking lot said that Guillermo and Luiz were usually accompanied by a third man, one that he would only describe as young, tall, and thin. While it has never been proven without a shadow of a doubt that this was Grillo, this described him to a T, and he would logically be the most likely suspect. Using the car, the boys were buying supplies that they intended to use in the attack. One day, Guillermo and Grillo went out to purchase a hatchet. They bought some of their supplies online as well, with one purchase being that of a crossbow and some arrows. In addition, they had bought a couple of other hatchets and some material to make Molotov cocktails. Guillermo had also gotten his hands on a revolver. They first parked their car in the lot on February 21st, 2019. Over the next several days, they would use the car and return it to the same parking space time and time again. The owner of the lot said that they were always very polite and paid in cash. Given that Luiz was a terrible driver, he offered to teach him how to use the car. The boys didn't seem to want him entering the vehicle though, and politely refused his offer. After a while, it was mainly only Guillermo and Luiz that he would see using the car. Behind the scenes, things had grown a bit rocky between Guillermo and Grillo. The two of them were having a very gradual falling out. While they shared an interest in committing a massacre, they didn't really have anything else in common anymore. They often couldn't even have a conversation without it turning into an argument. It seemed that having a mutual friend in Luiz was the only thing that even kept them in contact. The owner of the parking lot said that the two of them took their car out of the lot for the last time on March 7th, paying about 300 Brazilian real for their continued use of the lot. The owner asked if they would be back again, but they said that they wouldn't. One day later, Guillermo and Grillo made their way over to a local shooting range to practice a bit. Using airsoft guns and the crossbow, they engaged in a bit of target practice. This was likely the last time that Grillo would have anything to do with the planning of the attack. After a final blowout argument between the two, Guillermo decided that he no longer wanted Grillo to be a part of their attack. He and Luiz decided to drop him from the plans without telling him. Now it was just the two of them, and less than a week later, they were ready to carry out their attack. This brings us to March 13th, 2019, less than a week after Guillermo and Luiz had taken their car from the paid parking lot for the last time. Early in the morning, Guillermo hopped onto Dagolachan to write a message, expressing his gratitude for the advice he had received while planning the attack. He wrote, "Thank you very much for the advice and guidance. We hope not to commit this act in vain." Guillermo also took to social media, mainly Facebook, in order to post some pictures of himself. Much like many other mass shooters, he wanted to provide some pictures for the media to use that he felt would portray him as more cool and tough looking. In the photos, he was wearing a skull print mask and holding up his revolver. In other photos, he looked fairly normal, and in others he was flipping the bird. Guillermo planned on leaving the house pretty early that day. He said goodbye to his grandfather and gave some candy to his younger sisters. He then picked up his dog and gave her a hug one last time. He told his grandpa that he was going to the bakery and left home before 7:30 a.m., closing the door behind him for the last time. His grandpa then left the house shortly after to take the two girls to school. Guillermo and Louise had decided on an additional plan for their massacre that was extremely unique in a case like this. They had formed a pact, one that would require them each to kill one of their enemies before setting out to attack the school. Luis decided that he would kill one of his neighbors, an electrician, due to the fact that they had been in an argument recently. Guillermo surprisingly chose to kill his uncle Jorge. It isn't known what reason he gave for this, but it is heavily suspected that it was likely because his uncle both fired him and encouraged him to go back to the old high school where he had been tortured for 2 years. At around 9 a.m., Guillermo and Louise pulled up to Jorge's shop. Guillermo left the car alone to carry out his part of the pact. He entered into his uncle's shop, where he was sitting next to his friend and looking at his phone. Guillermo shouted Jorge's name a few times, but his uncle was now talking on the phone. He pulled up his gun, aimed it towards him, and fired 3 times. Guillermo then ran from the shop and back to the car. Jorge was actually still alive and was taken to the hospital, but he passed away from his injuries before too long. Now it was time for Louise to carry out his portion of the pact. They drove off towards his neighbor's house. Louise exited the car and went up to the man's home. Finding the gate locked, he continually screamed the man's name, hoping that he would come outside. He never did, though. The guy was fast asleep and never even heard Louise screaming. Frustrated, Louise returned to the car. The two decided to carry out the remainder of their plan regardless. Then the two drove off towards the school. They pulled their car up to the front gates of their old school, the Professor Raul Brazil State School in Suzano, ready to carry out their revenge. According to records, the school regularly had about 350 middle school students and nearly 700 high school students. The building would be fairly packed. For their attack, it's worth noting that both of the men were wearing clothing very similar to what was worn by the 2 killers in the movie Elephant, a movie intended to be a realistic take on a school shooting. Guillermo also wore a backwards baseball cap and a watch similar to what Eric Harris would often wear. A CCTV camera placed at a local house across the street showed Guillermo stand up out of the car, appearing to be speaking to Louise while gathering his weaponry. Seemingly being less prepared, Louise stayed in the car. Unable to wait any longer, Guillermo decided to head to the school first himself. By now it was lunchtime and many students were roaming about. Inside, several students and members of the school staff were gathered in the front room near the entrance. Guillermo rushed into the school. He threw what appeared to be a book onto the ground in a corner to his left. He then reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out his revolver. He quickly turned around and aimed it towards the group. Aiming it straight towards the head of one woman, she didn't have time to even fully grasp what was happening before he fired the first shot. This first shot missed, shattering a glass window, but allowing that woman to flee. They wouldn't all be so lucky. As he began to fire rapidly until he emptied the chamber in his gun, he struck several more people. 2 of them collapsed right there, unable to move any longer. One of them, a woman, was believed to have died fairly quickly. This was Marilena Ferreira Vieira Ramezu, a pediological coordinator at the school and the first person to have been shot. The other, a male, wasn't so fortunate. Another collapsed in the hallway after taking a few steps away, unable to continue any longer. Several students fled through a large door in the back of the room. Guillermo decided to make chase. In the process, he removed his backpack and jacket and dropped them to the floor in the hallway before putting on his face mask. Around this time, Louise finished gathering his gear in the car. Realizing he was missing out on the action, he broke into an awkward run to enter into the school. He entered into the main room at the entrance just as Guillermo left the exit towards the school's linguistics center. Louise calmly closed the door behind him before dropping his gear to the ground and digging through his duffel bag. The first item that Louise pulled from his bag was a hatchet. He lunged toward the 2 victims in front of him on the floor and began to swing. He hit the woman twice in the head, ensuring her death. He then hit the male victim in the back once more before moving towards the hallway. He hit the next victim in the back with the hatchet so hard that the weapon had become stuck, causing Louise to drag him a few feet while attempting to remove it. Meanwhile, Guillermo had made his way out to an inner courtyard of the school where many of the students were taking a break between classes. When the students in the courtyard came to see the other students fleeing from the main room of the school, they didn't seem to understand what was happening. But then they all fled to different corners of the courtyard as Guillermo approached. He began firing at students once again, killing and injuring even more in the process. He then walked towards the language center of the school where more of the students and teachers had barricaded themselves inside of their classrooms. Louise stopped to adjust his boots when a girl came running out of the linguistics center, likely having encountered Guillermo. He grabbed this girl by the hair, punching her a few times in an attempt to hold her back. When he noticed that more students were escaping from the same door, he lost his grip on her, allowing her to escape through the main entrance. He tried to grab several more students as they tried to escape, failing in holding any of them back. He then ran off towards Guillerme's location as many more students slipped out. Students poured out of the main gate of the school, booking it down the street in order to get as far as possible away from the shooting. As more and more of them left the gates, they began to flee in different directions. A local housewife who had lived in the area gave safe harbor to many of them, including a boy who had been shot in the jaw. Louise reconnected with Guillerme in the courtyard as Guillerme paced back and forth, seemingly irritated. One student said that the two shooters came up behind him, with one of them firing a gun and the other charging at him with a knife. One of the students near him was stabbed in the shoulder. They finally found a chance to flee as Guillerme stopped to reload his gun. One of the teachers in the school, a Spanish teacher named Paloma Correa Pires, saw Guillerme from her classroom window as he entered through a small gate into the language center. She said, "From my window, I saw students cornering themselves at the little gate and a masked boy coming. I thought he had a shotgun, but later we found out it was a bow and arrow. I told all the students to get down on the ground. The older kids went to the door and held them. I don't know how, but I managed to call the police. They warned us that there were already officers at the school. I just thought we needed to stay quiet. I told them, the bandits are close, stay quiet, don't make any noise. Shortly after, we heard two gunshots." Another teacher said, "I don't know if it was nerves, I don't remember. A teacher in another room said they knocked on her door and said, 'You guys are going to die here too,' but I can't say if they tried to break into my room." Another student said that she and many of her classmates barely managed to get into their classroom and shut the door before the two shooters were able to make their way inside. Many more students weren't so lucky. As some of them fled, Louise began swinging his hatchet towards them. He struck one of them in the shoulder, leading to the whole head of the hatchet being stuck in his body. Now, without the hatchet, Louise began to carry his crossbow. Guillerme and Louise began to walk around the hallway, making a few jokes as they looked for more victims. When they didn't find anyone, they made their way back to the main entrance to gather all the items that Louise had dropped before, mainly his arrows and Molotovs. When they made their way back into the room, they noticed that one of the first victims was still alive. Guillerme made his way over to him and shot him in the head once more. He then started kicking the bodies on the floor at full force. They even left a mysterious device behind, a suitcase with a block wrapped in foil and some protruding wires. It's believed that this was a diversion in order to slow police entry into the building. They then made their way back to the hallway, eventually coming across the school cafeteria where 50 more students were hiding. A lunch lady at the school, 54-year-old Somara Cristina Silva de Moraes, had locked the doors to the kitchen. She said, "We were serving snacks and then the popcorn started and the children panicked. We opened the kitchen and started putting as many children as possible inside and closed everything and asked them to lie on the floor." Louise tried to break down the door to no avail. Guillerme attempted to open it up himself by firing a few shots through the door. The bullets didn't hit anyone and the two seemed to give up. The two made their way back into the hallway where they decided that it was time to finish. They had made another pact in addition to the first one, that being that they would end their lives after the attack before they could be arrested. Louise seemingly had trouble carrying out the act himself, so Guillerme shot him. Afterwards, Guillerme turned the gun on himself. And with that, it was all over. Many students were still fleeing from the school when they felt the coast was clear. In doing so, many of them came to panic when they ended up face to face with yet another gunman in plain clothes. This was actually an undercover police officer who assured them that they were able to flee. 8 minutes after the attack had started, the police had finally made their way into the building. By then, the two shooters were already dead. The police came across their bodies in the hallway of the language center. Another teacher came to flee the building, coming across their bodies himself. Not realizing that they were the killers, he continued running. He came across 2 more bodies shortly after, then a girl's body on the stairs, and then 2 more in the hallway leading to the school's office. By now, the police, firefighters, and helicopters were swarming the school, still coming across students hiding all throughout the building. Susano's entire police force was soon on the scene. During their sweep, the police came to find 7 deceased or nearly dead victims. 5 of them were students ranging in age from 15 to 17. 2 others were faculty members. One of the victims was a 15-year-old named Caio Oliveira, who was said to have been a studious boy who had a lot of friends. Another was a 15-year-old male student named Caio Lucas da Costa Limeira. Another was a 16-year-old boy named Samuel Melcaedas Silva de Oliveira, who was a devoutly religious boy interested in art and religion. The next was 17-year-old Clayton Antonio Ribeiro, a quiet kid who mostly read books that was close to his parents. The last student was a 16-year-old boy named Douglas Murillo Calistino, a skater and football player. He had actually escaped the building, but when he didn't see his girlfriend among those fleeing, he made his way back inside to find her. She had been shot, but not fatally. Tragically, Douglas was killed as he searched for her. One of the faculty members who was shot was 38-year-old Elena Regina de Oliveira Xavier, who was a school organization agent. The other faculty member was the first woman shot, 59-year-old Marlena Ferreira Vieira Mezu. She was one of the most popular staff members of the school, with a lot of students saying that they never saw her without a smile. In an ironic twist of fate, she had actually been vocal in her opposition of a new law that would have made it easier for people to buy firearms, only to die from one. The last victim, of course, was Guillerme's own uncle, 51-year-old Jorge Antonio Moraes, who died a few hours after he had been shot. Guillerme's grandpa was still out and about when he first heard the news that Jorge had been shot. Not hearing the details of how this had happened, he was left both distraught and confused. Shortly after the attack broke out on their school, Grillo came to hear about it. Texting Guillerme, he wrote, "Holy shit, Tauchi, there was a shooting inside the school. Dude, two teenagers, and they ended themselves." After getting no reply for about 40 minutes, he grew confused. Once again, he texted Tauchi in one more bid to get a response. In a group chat with a few other friends, he said, "This reminded me of my strategy for carrying out a massacre at that school. I don't know how I could think of that, seriously." In a message to another friend, he said, "Bro, the shooter could be Tauchi." It was then that he connected the dots as more news came out. He texted him again, saying, "One of the shooters had an axe just like yours." It was then that he realized that they had carried out the attack without him. His final text read, "You son of a bitch, I hate you." The police, finding Guillerme and Luis's cell phones, began to comb through them for evidence. After a mere cursory check of their message history, they found text incriminating Grillo in the planning of the attack. Not only that, but they found out that Grillo had been there when Guillerme had purchased his hatchet. It wasn't long at all before Grillo was tracked down and arrested. He was taken in, with the police saying that he was one of the masterminds behind the attack. When they searched his home, they found even more evidence connecting him. He had some weapons of his own similar to those that were used in the attack. They also found drawings depicting dead people and a good number of encrypted messages on his computer. They even got their hands on the security camera footage of Grillo attending a shooting range with Guillerme where they practiced shooting with airsoft guns and the crossbow only 5 days before the attack. The police told Grillo that they considered him as being the intellectual architect of the whole attack, while he vehemently disagreed, saying that he was not a part of it. When Luis's parents heard about what he had done, they showed very different reactions. His mother quickly fell into shock. His father exploded in rage, punching the wall. He said that, while he knew his son had the occasional outburst, nobody would have expected something like this coming out of him. In the rental car that they had used, the police found 2 notebooks left behind by the killers. One of them mainly consisted of drawings of weapons and the names of some online games that they played. Along with that were notes for the games, such as, "After this, you can send your army to attack. It's a rather weak army, but if you do it quickly, the enemy won't have enough time to make any defenses." Another of the notebooks appeared to be the one full of creepypasta references that Guillerme had kept. Along with those drawings, they found some simple notes from school, such as a list of school rules. It was mainly fairly mundane, but the media didn't understand the creepypasta references, leading to them baselessly concluding that they were satanic scribblings and drawings of demons. Guillerme's estranged mother came over to the family home one day after the massacre. She decided to search his room. She found a black hood resembling what a ninja might wear that he kept locked up. She wasn't surprised, later telling the media, "He always liked Nazism, gothic, black clothes, and that emo fringe. Boys like that stuff. He wasn't the only one. Poor son." The police came to search the room themselves. They found a computer, a bunk bed, and an old TV. They took the CPU from the computer that contained the receipts for his online purchases. They also took some documents, his wallet, and receipts for boots, gloves, and a skull mask. They also found 6 more Molotovs hidden in his room along with some homemade smoke bombs. They then came across 11 different cell phones that he owned, one of them even having trace amounts of blood on it. Finally, for some reason, they took his Death Note t-shirt while leaving his other casual clothing behind. One teacher came to say that Guillerme's 2 years of attendance at his school were uneventful, saying that he was a good student who didn't seem to have any problems. Another teacher was more honest, though, telling the police that he had been bullied throughout his attendance. Shortly after, Guillerme's body was buried at the São João Batista Cemetery. There was no wake held in his honor. Only 4 people even attended the burial. The only person confirmed to have attended was his mother, but it's pretty easy to assume that the other 3 were his grandpa and 2 sisters. A police vehicle waited outside, fearing that some sort of riot might break out if the public or the press were allowed to enter. Luis's burial was quite the opposite of Guillerme's in several ways. He did have a funeral, albeit a very short one. Held at the São Sebastião Municipal Cemetery, the ceremony lasted about 10 minutes. It was attended by many more people than Guillerme's burial, with 20 people showing up in total. Again, in contrast to Guillerme's funeral, Luis's mom was actually one of the very few people in his family who didn't show up. She had been too upset to attend, having been left in shock ever since hearing what her son had done. Luis's uncle issued a public apology on behalf of the family, saying, "I want to publicly apologize to the parents of those children. I don't know what happened to the boy. On behalf of the Castro family, I apologize. We are also victims." Given that Luis was only responsible for one of the deaths during the massacre and labeled as more of a weak follower, the public's perception of him was ever so slightly less awful than that of Guillerme. One of the victims who was in the school at the time disagreed with those ideas, saying that, if anything, Luis was the more aggressive one. Guillerme's kills were fairly quick, consisting of gunshots. Luis seemed to enjoy carrying out more brutal attacks, though. He didn't end up using his crossbow at all, instead preferring to swing his axe and use his knife on kids who hid and fled in terror, preferring to drag out their pain for a prolonged period of time. She said that she saw nothing in his eyes but pure hatred. While violent crime and gun violence are notoriously prevalent in Brazil, school shootings actually weren't. It was even more strange that the shooting was carried out in a middle-class neighborhood, an area that wasn't even associated with gang violence. The commander of the police force in the area said that they had never seen anything like this. Still, this case came to be forgotten pretty quickly in the international news outside of Brazil. This is because the Christchurch mosque shooting by Brenton Tarrant coincidentally occurred only 2 days after this case. Given that that was another mass shooting outside of the US that left even more people dead, this one was forgotten about pretty quickly. Because of that, many people don't even really know about the Suzano massacre outside of Brazil, with very few in the media or on YouTube talking about it at length in English. Still though, in Brazil, the case wasn't dying out anytime soon. João Doria, the governor of Sao Paulo, decided to cancel his upcoming plans and fly out to Suzano along with a few other people in similar positions of power. He declared 3 days of mourning throughout the state. The president at the time, Jair Bolsonaro, also expressed his condolences in a tweet shortly after the attack was carried out. His chief of staff, along with the Minister of Women, Family and Human Rights, followed suit shortly after. Many members of Congress began to debate the topic of gun control in the country due to the sudden increase in criticism over the country's very lax gun laws. One congressman offered to draft a bill in response to the massacre. However, this wasn't even about guns, but instead against violent video games. He was widely criticized as a result, with many claiming that he was only using the attack to push an agenda of sweeping censorship that would do nothing but hurt the economy. The lunch lady at the school was widely praised after the attack, given that she had helped to ensure the survival of at least 50 of the students. She received honors from the governor himself afterwards. She made headlines again when she was chosen to be the first educational worker to receive a COVID vaccine as they became available in the country. Thousands of people attended a large wake held for the victims of the massacre in Sao Paulo. 4 of the teenage boys who lost their lives were displayed in open caskets at the funeral. Many people were photographed weeping over them. With the actual killers gone, much of their rage was turned towards Grillo, whose name was still being kept a secret from the media. His attorney, Marcelo Feller, did his best to defend him given the circumstances. He said that the evidence clearly showed that Grillo didn't plan the attack itself and had no idea it was coming. He said he's being condemned for being who he is, likely pointing to the fact that he was a bit of an outsider who was a little on the goth side. He mainly used the text messages that Grillo sent to his friends and to Guillerme himself after the attack as evidence, which indeed show that he didn't know the attack was coming, but they don't do much to show that he wasn't involved in planning it. The lawyer said that when Guillermo and Grillo did discuss the attack, it was years ago when they were 13 and 14 years old. He said that it was a simple fantasy at the time, nothing that Grillo thought they would actually do. He said, when Tauchi took this from the realm of ideas to execution, he didn't know. Yes, he fantasized about entering the school and killing people, but that was 4 years ago, and fantasizing is completely different from putting it into practice. When realizing that Grillo, having been seen in the parking lot with the other two killers, would really hurt his case, he emphasized the fact that the owner of the lot couldn't conclusively identify him as the man he had seen. He also said that the cops never compared the fingerprints on the car with any of the three. The police presented a photo of Grillo to the owner of the parking lot, but he said that he couldn't say for sure whether or not it was the man he saw. In the end, the court found the lawyer's defense fairly weak. They came to conclude that Grillo was indeed involved in the massacre and indirectly responsible for the people who had died. He was to remain in detention for an indefinite period of time. By law, though, he would be released at the age of 21. That means that he was released in around 2022 or 2023. He is now a free man. Not much is known about him, as he lives as anonymously as possible. All that anyone knows about him for sure is that he is alive and seems to have a serious girlfriend. With that, the attack itself was over, and the only other person involved in the attack who was left alive had served his time. Even then, the ripple effect of the attack continued to be felt all throughout Brazil, and in time, even other countries across the world. While many groups out there expressed their condolences and condemned the attack, that wasn't true across the board. The attack was quickly praised by neo-Nazi groups throughout Brazil, although the attack didn't really appear to have any racial or political motivations. Other prospective school shooters began to admire the killers as well, but mainly Guilherme, seeing him as the leader and Luiz as more of a mere pawn. Guilherme's grave actually became a pilgrimage site for those who admired him, with many making the journey out to his grave to pay their respects. Many people came to celebrate the attack online, especially on the Golachan. After details of the attack came to be known, users of the forum were excited to come across Guilherme's picture in the news. Posting it, one user wrote they discovered the hero's profile, happy to see that he was indeed the user who had asked for advice previously. Another wrote, all glory to the heroes, with another user saying, what a good day to be alive and free to witness such an act. Some users said that they would carry out more attacks in his honor, with other forum users encouraging them to do so. On another image board, 55chan, Guilherme and Luiz were labeled as heroes. One of them wrote, Luiz Henrique left life to enter history. Another said, I, a Channer, support the school massacre. One more seemed disappointed that they hadn't managed to kill more people, writing, they killed very few. The threats by forum users to carry out more attacks may have only been that, mere threats. However, the Suzano massacre did come to directly inspire many other attacks. Despite the fact that Guilherme and Luiz had failed to kill more than who had died in the Columbine massacre and overtake it as the most well-known school shooting, they did get one thing that they hoped for. They did come to inspire more. One of these was the attack on the Aber Luzada Zipinodi Municipal School on August 19, 2022. This was when an 18-year-old former student of the school entered in with a crossbow, Molotovs, and knives. He wanted to kill as many people as he could before confronting the police, who would kill him afterwards. He injured 3 people before being tackled by a coach. The police didn't even kill him. He was arrested and sentenced to prison, although the length of his sentence isn't known. Another one of these attacks was the Aracruz school shooting spree. This took place in November of 2022, and it involved 2 different schools in Aracruz in Brazil. 4 lost their lives, while 11 more were injured. The killer, 16-year-old Gabriel Rodriguez Castiglione, used to be a student at one of the schools. He simply went home after the murders and ate lunch with his family as if nothing had happened. However, he was arrested at his home shortly after. Shockingly, he was only sentenced to 3 years in prison, the maximum for minors in Brazil. In Sao Paulo, another attack took place at the Thomasia Montreux State School. This was where a much younger 13-year-old student stabbed 4 of his teachers, killing one of them and injuring a student. On Twitter, he had used the name Tauchi, showing his admiration of Guilherme. During the attack, he even wore the same sort of face mask that he did. Due to his age, it's likely he will also receive only 3 years. In June of 2023, at Cambé in Brazil, a 21-year-old former student named Silva Damas shot and killed 2 16-year-old students. His admiration of the Suzano massacre was found in a notebook retrieved by the police. He was arrested shortly after the attack took place. One of the first international cases to be inspired by the attack took place at the Technological University of Guadalajara in Mexico. A 20-year-old man named Alejandro Galaviz first killed a woman at a motel before he entered into the university and killed 2 female staff members before injuring a male worker with an axe and 2 knives. On his Facebook page, he had a gallery of photos of killers, with Guilherme's photos taking up a good portion of the album. He was sent to prison, but he took his own life shortly after. The ripple effect eventually made its way farther up to the United States when, in January of 2025, Solomon Henderson shot up a school in Nashville, Tennessee. He killed one student and injured another before turning the weapon on himself. While he cited many different attacks as inspiration, one of them was the Susano massacre. That one appeared to be a bit special to him, as he took pictures emulating those taken by Guilherme before his massacre. To this day, the Susano massacre is remembered as one of the most tragic events in the history of Brazil and serves as proof that school shootings and stabbings have become an international problem. A problem that doesn't seem to show any signs of slowing down anytime soon.
In the UK.
Once again, thank you for watching my video. If you found it interesting, please give it a like. It really helps me out in the algorithm, and feel free to subscribe if you want.
Okay, we'll get back to those videos momentarily. Trying to set up. Over to. There's a game. Over to overhead. I'm going to set up a V2. V2. I want this little guy to take me home tonight. Sometimes I think I'm a bona fide idiot. There you go. Now, can it read me? Alright, seems like this thing's working here. No, I just gonna make them kind of invisible. What do you think? Where do you think I should put them? Yeah, I'm normally looking like right here and doing all stuff over here, so maybe this side. So like that. Algo sirve, ¿verdad? What am I, pimp? What am I supposed to do? I need to get limp sync. What can we do here? This is here. Fix out lines, name model movements. Okay, does that work? I don't. So I think we got the. So I think we got the YouTuber to work. So let's try. Let's try to. Is there still sound? Is there still sound? I'm in streaming mode, so why does this thing tend to crack open? Why did I freeze? your vanity and beautiful. You're always. Oh, let's go some credit videos.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can I? Okay, I have a question. Hi, by the way.
9 inches. Why?
No. Okay, so I have a question. Do you think that if there was, hypothetically, there was someone who had a girlfriend, right? And they were dominant, and their girlfriend was like a submissive girlfriend, right?
Okay.
And they enjoyed the act of pairing their submissive girlfriend with another submissive girl so that they could do stuff and they would be kind of like puppeteered by like the dominant person. Is that cucking?
It's like active cucking.
What do you feel? I feel like it's different because like cucking's
You're like a coach cuck.
Cuck variant.
Cuck.
Coach cuck? So it's still, you still think it's cucking?
Yeah. If you're not participating and you're just coaching.
Well, are you sure? It seems like you answered really fast. So like, imagine they're both submissive and they're like, what do? We don't know what to do by ourselves. We need to be told.
Okay, well, first of all, if you need to be told what to do, yikes.
Well, they're both so submissive. They're like, what do I do? And then the person,
that's not submissive. That's just pillow princess. If you don't know what to do, if you're just laying there and you're like, what do I do?
Stop saying.
What do you mean you do?
Stop saying Coach Cuck. I personally, my perspective is that like it's not. Holy shit, Theo! Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. Okay, we have to change the subject now. We have to change the subject. Welcome in,
Raiders. We're talking about Krelly the cuck.
No, we're not talking about that. We were talking about something else. She's just kidding. I'm not a coach. Shut up. That's so fucking lame. The way that you guys are saying coach is lame. You need to think of it as like an evil mastermind who's like, you know, like so dominant that they're like just sitting in not a chair, but maybe perhaps some sort of throne and commanding bottoms to bend to their will.
Fuck are you talking about?
I'm talking about not being a cuck. You know the difference between cuck and voyeur, right?
Yeah. You're a voyeur? You just like to walk around naked?
No, that's not what voyeur is.
What's that then? What is that called? The people that walk around naked?
Exhibitionist?
No. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's a voyeur?
Voyeur is like when you like to watch people have sex.
Oh, yeah, that's a cuck.
No, it's different. It's different. I had so much hope when you said you knew the difference, and you just misunderstood exhibitionism and voyeur, and now you don't know the difference.
What is a voyeur? A person who derives sexual pleasure or excitement from secretly watching others.
Not secretly.
Especially in intimate or private situations.
Whoa! Hey, I'm not a voyeur. I changed my mind. I didn't know secretly was part of it.
Just call yourself a cuck. I think that would be better.
Oh my god! I'm so. Okay, we're recoursing. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. If I'm separating myself from something problematic, then fine. I'll be a cuck for a little while. Okay, until I can find a better label. Let me Google. What is a cuck who doesn't?
That doesn't what?
What doesn't get cucked?
What?
What's a cuck that doesn't want to get cucked?
That's called someone is cheating on you.
Well, okay. Well, if you had let's imagine you had a girlfriend, and she had a hot friend, and they were like, "Can we do stuff?" and you were like, sure, are you a cuck?
Am I watching?
Yeah, like kind of absentmindedly. You can partake if you want
Yes. Okay, well, if I'm partaking, that's a threesome. That's just an open. You're talking about an open relationship. Like a cuck is a cuck is just somebody who watches their partner have sex with someone else.
So like, what if
If
you
your
were having
partner
a
like
thriesome?
goes over to like Steve's place and then she has sex with Steve and you're like, that's cool. I don't care that she's having sex with Steve. That just means you have an open relationship.
What if you got tired during a threesome and went and took a nap? Are you getting cucked at that point?
And then that's called. You're probably gonna get dumped.
Why are you trying to make this work? Because I'm not a cuck. And I won't be
You're talking
mislabeled.
about getting tired, and you're like, okay, you guys can just continue without me. I'm gonna go play the stupid fucking horse gotcha game.
But she doesn't want sex. She just wants to sit and watch. Yeah, isn't part of being a cuck like, ooh, I want to touch so bad, but I can't. I'm not
Yeah.
allowed. Okay, so what
Yeah.
if you don't want to touch?
If you don't want to touch, that makes you a cuck.
How about we agree to disagree? I think it doesn't make you a cuck. I think it makes you based.
Why don't no? Sure. Whatever. Why don't you participate? Why do you want to sit and watch?
What if you're tired? Or
Then
like,
why are you watching?
because you just like, I don't know. What if you just don't feel like
What
it?
if I
But
don't
like,
want you to watch? What if I want to fuck your girlfriend and I don't want you present?
well, that's just cheating. that's just home wrecking.
But you're allowing me to. You're saying the only reason when I'm allowed to is when you're watching. What if I don't want you to watch?
Then that's a problem. And then I'm like, no, babe, don't fuck Coco. And then she'll be like, okay, I understand, I love you. And then I'll be like, thank you.
So they're horny and you're not horny.
No,
You're not gonna let me do them a favor.
no, I'm not. No.
Listen, I'm just trying to help you by fucking your girlfriend.
I'm not gonna let you fuck my girlfriend. I'm not. This is not happening. This is so not happening.
Type XDX if you think I should have sex with Crowley's girlfriend.
No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do no. Wait. Bruh. How do you know I don't have a secret girlfriend, guys? I could. Maybe she's off like to the side in my apartment and I'm exchanging a knowing glance with her right now and she's like, they don't think I exist, but like, how do you know? Broco's so cool. You guys think I have a shot?
I have no idea. I don't really know what his type is.
Could be me. You never know. Do you really want Crowley as your sister-in-law? That sounds fun.
Yeah, why do I care? Not like I have to deal with her.
Yeah, well, I'd like to come over.
And honestly, if anything, it's good for my brother, because now he gets to, like, fuck other women while Crowley watches. So, I think he's got the, like...
No, there's no way, there's no way. I'm not a voyeur either, but I am not a cuck. I'm an keep digging. I don't know what...
You don't know what you are?
I don't know. I just know I'm not a cuck. Because I feel like cucks are like, oh my god, I'm so emotionally in pain from watching this happen.
No, you can be a cuck and invested.
Wouldn't it be kind of cool and based if you were like not jealous of like your partner and you're like, yeah, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. Okay. So, but you want to watch, right? No, Crowley doesn't want to have sex with other people. She just wants to watch her partner have sex with other people.
Well, when you put it like that.
Are you gonna help them like find someone else?
In this hypothetical, I would be the person who does all of the things, and they would just like, yeah, and my girlfriend would be like, okay, babe, like that sounds cool.
So you would want to go headhunting for your partner for them to have sex with someone while you watch.
Well, you're phrasing it. The way you're phrasing it makes it sound like worse. Like more.
What do you mean the way I'm phrasing it? I'm putting it as gently as I can.
No. But I feel like cucks like I'm pretty sure
I'm
that
trying to be understanding here. Okay.
I'm pretty sure they have to get off on like the betrayal, right?
No.
So why is being a cuck a bad thing? Like that sounds cool to me. What? Hello?
Yeah.
Can I? Okay, I have a question. Hi, by the way.
9 inches. Why?
No. Okay, so I have a question. Do you think that if there was hypothetically, there was someone who had a girlfriend, right? And they were dominant, and their girlfriend was like a submissive girlfriend, right?
Okay.
And they enjoyed the act of pairing their submissive girlfriend with another submissive girl so that they could do stuff, and they would be kind of like puppeteered by like the dominant person. Is that cucking?
It's like active cucking.
What do you feel? I feel like it's different because like cucking's
You're like a coach cuck.
Cuck variant.
Cuck.
Coach cuck? So it's still, you still think it's cucking?
Yeah. If you're not participating and you're just coaching.
Well, are you sure? It seems like you answered really fast. So like, imagine they're both submissive and they're like, what do? We don't know what to do by ourselves. We need to be told.
Okay, well, first of all, if you need to be told what to do, yikes.
Well, they're both so submissive. They're like, what do I do? And then the person,
that's not submissive. That's just pillow princess. If you don't know what to do, if you're just laying there and you're like, what do I do?
Stop saying.
What do you mean you do?
Stop saying Coach Cuck. I personally, my perspective is that like it's not. Holy shit, Theo! Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. Okay, we have to change the subject now. We have to change the subject. Welcome in.
Raiders. We're talking about Krelly the cuck.
No, we're not talking about that. We were talking about something else. She's just kidding. I'm not a coach. Shut up. That's so fucking lame. The way that you guys are saying coach is lame. You need to think of it as like an evil mastermind who's like, you know, like so dominant that they're like just sitting in not a chair, but maybe perhaps some sort of throne and commanding bottoms to bend to their will.
Fuck are you talking about?
I'm talking about not being a cuck. You know the difference between cuck and voyeur, right?
Yeah. You're a voyeur? You just like to walk around naked?
No, that's not what voyeur is.
What's that then? What is that called? The people that walk around naked?
Exhibitionist?
No. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's a voyeur?
Voyeur is like when you like to watch people have sex.
No, yeah, that's a cuck.
No, it's different. It's different. I had so much hope when you said you knew the difference, and you just misunderstood exhibitionism and voyeur, and now you don't know the difference.
What is a voyeur? A person who derives sexual pleasure or excitement from secretly watching others. Not secretly. Especially in intimate or private situations.
Whoa. Hey, I'm not a voyeur. I changed my mind. I didn't know secretly was part of it.
Just call yourself a cuck. I think that would be better.
Oh my god! I'm so okay. We're recoursing. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. If I'm separating myself from something problematic, then fine. I'll be a cuck for a little while. Okay, until I can find a better label. Let me Google. What is a cuck who doesn't?
That doesn't what?
What doesn't get cucked?
What?
What's a cuck that doesn't want to get cucked?
That's called someone is cheating on you.
Well, okay. Well, if you had let's imagine you had a girlfriend, and she had a hot friend, and they were like, "Can we do stuff?" And you were like, "Sure." Are you a cuck?
Am I watching?
Yeah, like kind of absentmindedly. You can partake if you
Then
want
yes. Okay, well, if I'm partaking, that's a threesome. That's just an open. You're talking about an open relationship. Like a cuck
Okay.
is a cuck is just somebody who watches their partner have sex with someone else.
to. So like, what if
If
you
your
were having
partner
a
like
threesome?
goes over to like
That's
Steve's
just
place and
being
then
lazy
she
in a
has sex with
threesome.
Steve and you're like, that's cool. I don't care that she's having sex with Steve. That just means you have an open relationship.
What if you got tired during a threesome and went and took a nap? Are you getting cocked at that point?
And then that's called. You're probably gonna get dumped.
Why are you trying to make this work? Because I'm not a cuck. And I won't
Yeah,
be
You're talking
mislabeled.
about getting
It's
tired,
no
and you're like,
time.
okay, you guys can just continue without me. I'm gonna go play the stupid fucking horse gotcha game.
But she doesn't want sex. She just wants to sit and watch. Yeah, isn't part of being a cuck like, ooh, I want to touch so bad, but I can't. I'm not
Yeah.
allowed. Okay, so what
Yeah.
if you don't want to touch?
If you don't want to touch, that makes you a cuck.
You know, how about we agree to disagree? I think it doesn't make you a cuck. I think it makes you based.
Why don't no? You know, sure. Whatever. Why don't you participate? Why do you want to sit and watch?
What if you're tired? Or
Then
like
why are you watching?
because you just like, I don't know. What if you just don't feel like
What
it?
if I
But
don't
like,
want you to watch? What if I want to fuck your girlfriend and I don't want you present?
well, that's just cheating. that's just home wrecking.
But you're allowing me to. You're saying the only reason when I'm allowed to is when you're watching. What if I don't want you to watch?
Then that's a problem. And then I'm like, no, babe, don't fuck Coco. And then she'll be like, okay, I understand, I love you.